What's going on, family? Welcome back to the Speakeasy. Listen, my name's Ant.
It's Josh, J. Hart from the block.
Here we go.
I'm Tyler Kim.
Hey, Day, Deshaun, Day Dizzle the Don, Day whatever y'all want to call me.
Yo, listen, welcome back. Today I wanted to have a conversation, and I'm really glad that, you know, we got my brother Day here.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Last week we had Mike. Now we got our brother Day here. You're going to see a lot of our community in the space. And so you'll see a lot more Day. You see a lot more of all of us. But one of the things I want to talk about while we're here, how to pick your friends. How to pick the people in your life. I think we're going to talk a lot about community. We're going to talk a lot about friendships and brotherhood and all that. That's what we do. That's who we are. That's what this whole podcast is about. But before we talk about maintaining, before we talk about any of it, how do you pick a good friend, right? How do you pick the people in your life for the season that you're in, right? And so one of the terms that we use often, whether it be in friendships or for those who don't know us, whether it be in our friendships or even when we were all in our dating phase, Day still in his dating phase.
I am.
Right?
Yeah.
Is your picker broken? Is
Lord.
your picker broken? Do you know how to pick?
Yeah.
And the people that you are picking, if that's unhealthy, is that an indicator that your picker is broken? Maybe the problem isn't them. Maybe the problem is your picker.
Yeah.
Maybe the reason why you aren't where you want to be in life is because your picker is broken.
Yeah.
And you're upset at everybody. And every new year, you got a whole new cutoff list. Everybody got a cutoff list in the new year. These are the people that ain't come with me into the new year.
Right.
Maybe the problem's not them. Maybe it's your picker.
And maybe you don't even got a cutoff list, but your year looked the same as it did last year, the year before that, the year before that. Hey, yeah, you just living every year thinking you're going to be different. but it's like your community is still the same, brother.
Same people.
Sorry.
Same people, same unhealthy habits, same cycles. Anyway, right? Is your picker broken? This is the conversation I want to have today. And I think there's a lot to talk about in terms of how to pick, who to pick, the kind of person you are, and the kind of the kind of picker you need to have for the kind of person that you are.
Yeah.
But how I really want to start the conversation is asking, what is the most important quality for you in picking a friend in this day and age?
Wow. I'll start. For me, and it's pretty simple. It's two things for me. Are you a believer in Jesus Christ? Right? And and to what degree are you a believer in Jesus Christ? Like I'm not not lukewarm, but I don't want like the extreme everything's a demon, everything's the devil. Not that far, but like, are you a believer in Jesus Christ? You know, so because that's core to who I am. That's a big part of my just how I go about my daily life. Absolutely. Is my faith. And then secondly is probably your integrity. Like, are you a man of integrity? Because I don't want anybody around me that may, kind of add fuel to the fire of my shortcomings or anything like that. And so that's my main two. It's my main two.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been thinking on it because that's a rough question because there's so many things that can make up like a great friend, and sometimes they can like really be unique how they are, and it just gels well. But I think for me, probably, I'll piggyback off of definitely integrity for sure. Having integrity, like I just got to be able to trust you as a person. You know what I mean? Because nobody's perfect, and if we're gonna be in close relationship, you're gonna see my highs and my lows, like you were saying. I think integrity, but also I think somebody who I know I can really genuinely just be me around. Like I don't feel like I have to be a different person around this individual. You know what I mean? It's like whatever they're involved in or whatever they do, they, the things that they involve themselves in, they gel well with the things that I already involve myself in. So it's like I'm not trying to code switch when I'm with this person, So I think that's it.
I love that. And not only I can be myself, but I can be the me today.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not the me from 10, 15 years ago. Like I can be my full self as I am today.
Yeah.
I think for me, one of the big, a big one for me is I need to know that you're an honest person, which kind of goes into integrity as well. Right. I need to know that like who I'm getting is the real you. Right. Like of course I want you to be a believer. Of course, I want you to walk in integrity, but I have a little bit of a thing about people I can't predict.
Yeah.
Drive me crazy.
I got a little bit of a thing about people I can't predict. If I don't know how you're going to be in any given moment and like you switch up and change up, and it's a little bit, it is unsettling for me.
Yeah. Right.
Agreed.
And I just think the people in my space, I feel like with y'all in the room, right? Mm-hmm. I kind of, when we're not around each other, I kind of know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like we're not sharing locations or anything strange like that. I mean, it wouldn't be strange, but we're not sharing each other's location or anything. But you just kind of know I kind of know what you're doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you did some off the rails, the thing that's off the rails wouldn't necessarily surprise me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a thing about people that I can't necessarily trust that they're gonna be who I know them to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's really important for me. Yeah. Even in any relationship, whether it be a friendship, whether it be a mentee, whether it be a mentor, like there's got to be some predictability about you.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? It don't mean every week got to be the same, but like I got to know who you are. If I don't know who you are, I can't do it.
Right.
Can't do it.
Ain't gonna work.
I think for me, the first thing that comes to my mind is loyalty.
Yeah.
That's one way that I measure myself as a friend. Mm-hmm. Am I loyal to my brothers? And I think loyalty is an umbrella that covers a lot of things.
Yeah.
Will you ever find yourself in a situation where people are talking shit about me?
Yeah.
And if they are, what's your response to them? Mm-hmm. Is there ever a situation where I really need you and it's going to cost you?
Yeah.
Are you willing to do that for me? Because I'm willing to do that for you. Mm-hmm. If I'm in a situation at 3 a.m. and I have a body to bury, can I call you?
Well,
call me, brother.
In extreme. But still, I feel like for me, one of the things that I view is that loyalty is one of the greatest currencies in friendship. Mm-hmm. So the first thing that comes to my mind is loyalty, for sure.
And that's huge because you're one of the most loyal people
for sure
I have ever met
for sure in
my life.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, one of the stories that I share often is there was it last year sometime?
Last year.
There was an active shooter around my son's daycare, and I was like, oh shoot, like there's an active shooter. Like I'm like freaking out. Like I grab my gun and I'm like, all right, like I load up my gun, I go and I'm parked in front of my son's daycare. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, listen, you come anywhere near, I'm shooting.
Right.
But I let my brothers know, like, hey, like there's an active shooter, bro. Like I'm letting them know because I'm like freaking out, letting them know where I'm at. Tyler got his gun, drove from Durham to Raleigh, and sat in my car next to me. We both armed and ready to go. Yeah. And that's kind of, and I tell that story, but that's Tyler all the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
right. Tyler's talking about burying a body, but like Tyler's
not for real. It's an extreme.
It's an extreme, but Tyler's the friend. And what's interesting, and I think we should talk about this a little bit too, because not every friend, just because every friend doesn't go to that extreme, doesn't mean they're not good friends.
Right. Exactly.
Right. It's just that's the kind of friend Tyler is.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, I love Josh to death, but if I just committed a crime, I'm not calling Josh. Respectfully. I might tell him it happened like years, but
don't even tell him.
No, I'm not gonna tell him because if he gets on the stand, he's gonna crumble, right? Absolutely. He gets interrogated. If you get interrogated, it's interrogated. Good. If you get interrogated, it's over. He's gonna crack it's over with. Josh is gonna snitch. Like he's gonna be like, bro, like why'd you put me in that position? And he's gonna okay, that's just Josh. And I love Josh for who he is, okay?
Right.
But you gotta know your people for who they are, okay?
Yeah. Well, look.
Tyler, on the other hand, I'm saying, hey, I gotta do something that I might regret, and I can't tell you what it is, but will you go? Tyler gonna grab his gun, and Tyler gonna get in the car. And he's gonna be like, let's go. And that is the kind of friend Tyler is.
Yeah.
Like, and also, Tyler's also the friend that, and why I think loyalty is really important for someone even like Tyler, is because Tyler, and I'm talking a lot about you, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Sure.
Is you're the type of friend that is often misunderstood.
Yeah.
I think people misunderstand you a lot.
Yeah.
And so what's really important for your friends to show people who are maybe say something negative about you in the background to like, actually, no, this is actually who he is.
Right,
This is actually
right,
his
right.
character, right?
Yeah.
Which is why I'm like you're kind of doing this podcast so people get to know more about who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're often misunderstood, and I think people who are misunderstood need friends who are loyal.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
So I think that's really powerful. But I did want to talk to one of your points, Josh, in terms of having friends that allow you to be who you are fully today.
Yeah.
How has friendship for you changed from when you were younger? How has your expectation of friendship changed as an adult now from when you were in your maybe early 20s, maybe even your teenage years?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like friendship changed from just being like, yo, you know, we met each other. We ended up just hanging out every day, like going to school together, going to high school. It's like we were just boys. It was like anything that there was to do, whether it was be bored together or go out to the movies, you know, go see girls or whatever. It's like that's what it was, you know, having that friendship at a younger age. But as I got older, you know, friendship changed from just being boys to like, are you somebody that can like push me to like win in life? Like, are you somebody who can help me grow as an individual, as a person, you know, versus us just kind of hanging out and shooting it, you know, every weekend. So it's like, all I'm saying is right now at this stage of my life, you know, I don't look at friendships as just like, yo, casual, like, yo, I just met you, you seem cool. Like, no, it's like, yo, do you actually add value to my life? You know what I mean? Because any relationship can add or subtract from your life. And I ain't trying to have not now one subtract from me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, no, and I can kind of, you know, pull the needle through the thread a little bit further on what Josh just said. Like for me, it changed from like, you know, high school and all that stuff. It was just like, oh, we play football together.
Yeah.
We chasing girls together. We doing all this stuff. And it just like, and when I transitioned into adulthood, I had a whole new, you know, expectation about the guys that I'm around. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm no longer doing those things. So it's like, you may think it's still that, but it ain't. You know what I'm saying? So now I gotta put you in a whole different category. You no longer a friend. You're an old acquaintance or somebody I used to be tight with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's no hard feelings, but it's okay. But I think it's just like being understanding that like friends can be seasonal. You know what I mean? Not like not like a temp worker. You know what I'm saying? Not like that, but seasonal in a sense of like, all right, this is where I am in my life now. We go to the same school, we go to the same like clubs and all this stuff. But when I'm no longer in those like situations and you still there, the friendship gonna fall off a little bit, and you gotta be okay with that. So I think it's just naturally some friendships is just kind of like naturally just change. Yeah. And it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
That's our thing. It's okay.
It's really okay. It's all right.
Right.
Yeah.
Facts.
How's it change for you, bro?
You know, when I was in high school, friendship to me was just having a really good time.
Yeah.
Facts.
When the only thing you had to worry about in life was homework. When you didn't have bills, and you weren't married, you didn't really have you're living under your parents' roof. Friendship to me was having a good time.
Yeah.
And so I was friends with people that I just had a really good time with.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of dumb shit. But it was fun.
Yeah.
I want to do hood rat stuff with my friends. It's like you want to just have fun.
Yeah.
And so
That's stupid.
It is.
But it's just coming from Tyler. It's hilarious. Hood rat stuff with my friends coming from Tyler.
Well, listen, I wasn't in the greatest city. I wasn't in the greatest city in the world. But,
I remember.
But as I got older, I once I started going to college, there are conversations I started having with mentors that I had. Mm-hmm. There was a lot about what are you gonna do with your life?
Yeah.
Who do you want to be? What kind of man do you want to be?
Yeah.
And I started to recognize that the people I surround myself with are either going to help me get there or they're going to stop me from getting there. And so I ended up realizing that I was in a place where I'm surrounded by people that I call my friends, but I'm reaching a new age. I'm reaching a new place in life. And there's really nothing for me here, actually.
Yeah.
And I had conversations with them, and we didn't actually really see eye to eye because I was in a stage where I was really trying to grow, and they was just really still trying to have a good time. And I just decided to move. I didn't want to stay in a place where I realized there's really no one here for me to help me. And what? I'm going to stay and force the relationship or be a loner.
Yeah.
Both of those options suck.
Facts.
And so, I was connected with Manny, and I was talking with Brian and Pastor Chris Sumner, and they were all like, "Yeah, you should move." Yeah. And I was just blessed enough to know of a community here in North Carolina that looked like it was a group of young people that were making the right decisions and relationally healthy and in a good church. And so I decided to move here, and it was one of the greatest decisions of my life.
Yeah.
Facts.
Because I am where I am now.
Yeah.
Because of the people I became surrounded by.
Yeah. And that transition is tough.
Facts.
It was very tough.
That transition is not easy, going from who you're used to, who you grew up with, who you rock with, who you share. Love you, bro, or whatever.
Yeah.
All those experiences and memories, and they know the deep, dark stuff that you didn't tell nobody, right?
Yeah.
They know all that, and then transition into we're kind of distant.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to learn to be okay with that. But my question then would be, is it possible to transition in life but still keep those friends?
Absolutely. I think so.
Okay, why?
Listen, I think
I don't disagree, but I do want to know why.
I think that it's absolutely possible because the fact of the matter is, the same way that I got around people who helped me and challenged me to grow, the reason why they helped me and challenged me to grow is because their perspective and where they were at was a little bit higher than where I was at. You know what I mean? And I didn't have to necessarily be on the same level as you to be in community with you. You know what I mean? And so it's it gave me the opportunity to grow and to, hear constructive things that I needed to fix, that I need to learn, you know what I mean, that you have maybe already had learned, you know what I mean? And that you've grown through and you've already realized in life because you're in a little bit of a different season. But as I grow, we end up being in a similar place, you know what I mean, where we have different conversations. And I think with relationships that maybe happen, where we were boys, in high school, and maybe you went off to college and I was, stayed where I was at. I think that if that relationship comes back around where it's now the conversation is not about having a good time no more. The conversation is about yo, bro, I want to win too. I really... And I'm coming to you because, bro, I see you've been leveling up. I see you've been really trying to take life serious, bro. And now I know I gotta take life serious. And so it's yo, you know what I mean? Can you help me out? Can bro, can we get together? You know what I mean? I just want to be around the right people, because that's what it's about. Yeah. And so I think if those relationships are willing, that you used to have, are willing to come into a community and run their own race, of course, but be willing to be challenged and not be comfortable anymore, I think they absolutely can move into your next season, the season of life that you're in right now.
Yeah, no, and that's real, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I will add, I mean, Is it possible? Absolutely. But is it wise to keep them at the same like access point to you? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Because I know for me personally, like I have friends that I grew up with, and I grew up in the south side of Durham, and it ain't the best neighborhoods. The decisions that people make over there ain't the best. So for me, somebody I know from childhood and where I'm at now, like working in corporate, like really serious about my walk in Christ and all these things. And I'm not trying to sound better or nothing like that, but it's just different. Like you're not gonna have the same access level to me than you did when we was in high school or we was kids than to where I'm at now in my 25, 26-year-old life. You know what I mean? So I think it's possible, but I think you do have to like have tiers when it comes to friends.
So my question would be why? I don't disagree, but why?
Because for me, I don't. It's kind of like to the similar point. Like the point somebody kind of made earlier. Like I don't need anybody like trying to pull me away from where I'm trying to go. Like if you're not helping me or pushing me to be better or do better, and the only thing you're doing is just kind of like reminiscing on the past or just talking about things that's not really beneficial to where I'm trying to go, it's no point. At that point, you're like an adversary rather than you know what I mean? Rather than like any type of positive addition that I need in my life. So I think that's the why around it, because it's like, I don't want to talk about girls. That's what we did when we was super close. We're not there no more. So like, that's not just where we're
at. I think what's interesting too about that is, I think people probably listening or it will have the natural question, well, why don't you just change the conversation? Why don't you just lead them in a different direction? Well, that could be pretty exhausting.
Very.
One, it could be exhausting. Two, you're only a dude. You're only a man. So if hoes is all you talk about, there's going to be a point where it's going to be like, I kind of want to talk about hoes too a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because then it becomes a distraction, right? And so now I'm battling not being what I kind of was for the longest period of my life. And also trying to pull you to where I am. And instead of playing tug of war, why don't I walk equally yoked with people who are going the same direction as me? Which is why the Bible tells us not to be unequally yoked, right? Which is why we live that way. It's because we don't want to be pulled back. And so I think what happens is it's really easy to just, I get it, right? I think you end up on one side of the ditch or the other. It's like, I want to cut everybody off and just be dolo or just be with people who are in my space. And the other side of it is like, nah, I'm, you know what I'm saying? These are people who I started from the bottom with, like, we gonna come up together. And it's just like, well, what's the balance for real? So for you to like, like, how do you navigate that?
Yeah, that is exactly how I would answer it. It's just, I can only answer it based off of my experience. I know for me, going off of what Day said, the level of access that you have to my life gets more and more limited. Because if you're not in agreement with me and you're not trying to go where I'm trying to go, it doesn't have to be exactly the same, but if you're not trying to grow as a man the way I'm trying to grow as a man, and you are still trying to just live in a bunch of mess, you're not going to know where my address is, because you're not going to bring that mess to my house where I have a family and I'm trying to grow a family. You're not going to know certain things about my life, because there's going to be certain things that I have to protect from the stuff that you would potentially bring. However, I still measure myself as a friend to how loyal I can be. And I try to be as loyal as I can still. So if you're ever in a situation where you need me, if I can be there for you, I will. If you have to call me at 3 a.m. and my phone's ringing, I'll wake up out of my sleep and I'll talk to you about whatever it is you're going through. If you need me to show up to your place because you're going through some kind of crazy anxiety attack, I'll pull up and I'll pray for you. And I'll play some worship music and we'll get back to a level-headed mindset together. But at the same time, I wouldn't be in certain situations with you. I wouldn't allow you into really close, intimate areas of my life. And that's been my personal experience. I do think that it is possible to keep friends that you've had for a really long time, but it's such a subjective thing because everybody's different.
Yeah.
For sure.
Have y'all ever heard of how people say, like, if they live some other place away from their hometown in another state, whenever they go back to their hometown, they've got to be real careful about meeting up or linking up with their old friends again because they find themselves doing dumb shit all over again that they don't want to do no more.
Absolutely.
Facts.
That's not me.
Yeah.
So I don't have to deal with that. If I ever end up around people when I go back to Massachusetts, I don't find myself doing dumb stuff all over again.
Yeah.
Actually, the opposite.
Yeah.
But there are people who have to be careful about who they're around because a version of themselves that they no longer are is going to become prevalent.
Yeah.
That's huge, right? And you're speaking to the nuance of it, right?
Yeah.
Like you and what I endeavor to do with even our podcast is to be careful about blanket statements.
Right.
Because I hate them.
Right.
It is dependent on who you are as an individual.
Right.
Right? Like you gotta know the choices that the best choices you're gonna make in your life are gonna come from an intimate knowledge of who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Knowing exactly what you can take, what you cannot take.
Right.
The people you can be around, the people you cannot be around. There's people I could be around and they won't tempt me.
Right.
And they do nothing. I do, however, know there are some subjects and some people that talk about certain things. I can't be around that.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't do it.
Right.
I can't because I'm gonna go right with you. We're gonna do. We gonna do this. Yeah.
Right.
I gotta be. You have to understand you.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And place people properly in your life.
Yes.
That's a fact.
Yes.
I used to say there's peace in the proper placement of people.
Yeah.
You will have peace when you place people properly in your life.
Yeah.
Because
Lord.
there is levels. There are levels
Absolutely.
to relationship. And I love how you're talking about not allowing people into certain intimate spaces in your life. Not because I don't love you the same.
Right.
It's because if I let you into some of those intimate thoughts or those like really scary places, or like if I start telling you about some temptations that I'm having, are you the kind of person that's gonna be like, honestly, bro, I don't feel like that's a big deal?
Right.
Right.
Because if it's real bad temptation, you tell me it's not a big deal, it may stop being a big deal to me.
Right.
But it's also like
You gotta be careful.
but it's also like, will you even have any wisdom to give me about it?
Boom.
Exactly.
Right.
Boom.
That.
Yeah.
You know?
That right there. Yeah.
I was in a
It's like, all right, bro, just go with your heart,
some people are just like, some
no,
people are
bro.
just like,
Yeah.
damn, that's crazy. It's just, and that's all you got to say.
Right, bro.
And it's like, going off of what you were saying too, the last time I went back to Massachusetts, it was for a funeral for someone who was really, really close to me. And I ended up surrounded by a bunch of old friends. And it was all love.
Yeah.
But a lot of them like really didn't have like a lot of insight as to where I currently was in life, and I let them think whatever they thought. How's South Carolina? South Carolina, right?
Yep.
Yup.
The beaches
South
are cool.
Carolina.
Yeah.
I took my ring off before I even went there because you ain't even gonna know I'm married.
Right,
Because I
right.
want you to know nothing about my wife. Not a thing.
I don't know about that, Tyler.
It was a bunch of guys.
He might be misunderstood.
No. It was a bunch of guys. It was a bunch of guys.
This is why
Happily married.
Tyler's different.
No,
Yeah, see,
you gotta listen. You
This
have to
is
listen.
why. This is why it's important for Tyler to have people who
Right.
help.
This is fair. This is fair. There were no women. There were no women in the room. It was just a bunch of guys that we used to hang out with in my friend's neighborhood, and I didn't want them to know anything about my current life because for me, it's too dangerous, and I'm not willing to lose what I have based on some nonsense.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do think it's very subjective.
Yeah.
Because not everybody is the same. And when it comes to old friends, I do believe that you have to have boundaries. I definitely don't go to old friends with issues that I'm currently dealing with.
Yeah.
Because the ones that I have in my life, I don't trust that they'll have wisdom to give me
at all
when I need it.
And that is so important. Just the wisdom piece.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's like, do you have people that can pour wisdom into you?
Yeah.
What's wisdom? Wisdom's foresight.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like, oh, is this a good or bad situation? That is so like elementary.
Right.
It's, do you have people who can be like, yeah, if you do this, you can lose this.
Yeah.
Right.
Facts.
If you do this, you can end up, if you smash her, you're going to get stuck.
Yeah.
And you're going to be there the week, the next week, the week after that, the week after that.
right.
I know you said it just one more time,
Yeah.
but you said
Right.
it was good. Let me tell you, you're going to get stuck.
Yeah.
Son. Like you,
Yeah. Right.
Do you have somebody who can say, yeah, no, that's just not smart, bro?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like what are you doing?
Right.
And give you real like wisdom and go, hey,
Right.
like maybe you should try doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
And know you enough
For sure.
to give you wisdom based on you.
For
Right.
sure.
Not based on me.
That's
Right.
it.
And I think that's really important to have people in your life who take the opportunity to get to know you enough to
Yeah.
give you wisdom that's applicable to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
truth,
good, bro.
That's the truth. I think one of the things too, like, you know, to go back to even what Day said, it's just like the different places you can place people in your life, and it's like when I hear that in terms of like old friends, like I really want to like harp on the fact that like, dude, if you decided to grow and you decide to branch off from friends that you used to have in the past, you know, and they show up again, you know what I mean, and you've been trying to ascend in your life, like you have to make sure that you maintain a position where you're an influencer versus being influenced. And it's just kind of like that's the line that we kind of teeter a little bit sometimes, because it is like, yo, this my boy from back then. Like some of the things we used to do, like it don't mean just because I grew don't mean that I stopped liking those things.
Right.
It just
Right.
mean that I chose not to do those things no more.
Right.
To go to a higher place in life, and it's like, but knowing that my growth and me actually like loving and caring about you in this season of life and this point in time, it's like, bro, I have to actually be somebody who's willing to help you ascend versus come back down to your level, enjoy this time with you, and then
Right.
go back to ascending in life again. It's
Yeah.
like, and I think that could be an issue with some people too, is like they don't know how to maintain, like you said, like who you currently are with this person that you know, that you had in the past, you know what I mean, to make sure that like, yo, they don't see you the same way that they seen you when y'all was boys back in high school. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And I love that because it's also like there's seasons of isolation that can happen too, right? Like I one of my closest friends, he's my close friend to this day.
Yeah.
We've been friends 20 years.
Yeah.
We've been close friends 20 years. But like there are seasons in that 20 years where we were just doing our own thing because he had to grow and I had to grow.
Yeah.
I had to develop. And then we met back up.
And it wasn't even no bad blood.
No.
Yeah.
No,
it wasn't even
no.
bad.
No.
It was just you doing your thing, I'm doing mine.
and
but you're still my boy.
You're still my
Yeah.
dog. You're still my brother. And
Yeah.
you ended up over the years getting some new friends, and I got some new friends.
Yeah.
But then we got back together. Now we got all like some of the same. All
That's
y'all
my
know.
boy, too.
Yeah. Nico, shout out to my brother
Yeah.
Nick. Right.
Yeah.
Like that was one of my best friends for 20 years.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just takes just going our separate ways.
Yeah.
Even me and my boy Shaq, right? Like I moved to North Carolina, he moved to LA. He's touring all over the world with Chris Brown and Missy Elliott and everybody in the world. And I'm doing my thing. I'm growing. I'm building a family. We both are chasing our dreams, and we get to meet up in the middle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and we're able to help fuel each other's faith because we went on our faith journey separately.
Right.
And sometimes it takes going on your own faith journey in
Yeah.
order to build each other's faith.
Yeah. Right.
Because if we're doing it together, sometimes we may just stay stagnant.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's huge.
And I think too, that's how you know the friendship was planted in good soil too, because it's like you only have the opposite of those situations, and the opposite would be somebody getting jealous or like, and you think you all that when the other person don't want more for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like they kind of stay where they at. You were seeing, and now
talk about that.
Now, if you try to reconnect a little bit later, it's gonna be like jealousy, or it's gonna you change. It's just like no. I mean, I kind of just saw what I wanted for my life, and I chased after that. Yeah. But yet, you still in the high school days, middle school days, what we used to do in college, and now you feel a way that I'm this, and you had the same amount of years, the same opportunities that I had, but you didn't take advantage.
Right.
So I think, and let's just kind of go back down to your first question, like what do you look for in a good friend? It's just like if I know you was one of those people that know, if I knew you was one of those people that like you want what you want for yourself in the future, I wouldn't have to worry about that because I know you would understand the separation journey. And then when we get back together later on, it'll make sense to you. You know what I mean? But people who don't know that, like they're gonna look at it as you a threat or you better than them or whatever the case. Or
you
may
think
be.
you better.
Yeah, and it's not that. It's not that.
And I love that, right? Because they have to want it. Right. They have to want change.
Yeah.
But not just want it as in say they want change or they want it better. I'm trying to go up. Everybody's trying to grind.
Yeah.
Everybody want to be a millionaire.
For sure.
Yeah.
Everybody want to quote unquote make it, but has no idea what make it means to them.
Yeah.
Right? Like they all want it, but you got to want it in action.
No.
Right.
Facts.
Right. And I have to see, like, the thing about Nick and I is like, and I'll just keep using Nick as an example, is like, yo, we're both doing well in our career. We both want similar things. I mean, we're different seasons of our life. Like I have a wife and a child.
Yeah.
And, Nick doesn't necessarily, he's not married and he doesn't have any children. But we're both trying to build a life and have property and there's a desire for more.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why we can still walk together side by side in this season of life because you want better in action.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't have to pull you along. Yeah.
And I know one of the things that comes along with that is holding each other accountable to it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And for me, there have been a lot of people that not a lot of people, but there have been people that I've been friends with that don't want to be held accountable. And it's kind of a situation where I can see everything that they could be.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can see the potential that is in you.
Yeah.
And I believe that God has created you for more.
Yeah.
But they don't want to hear it because they just love where they are.
I can't believe for you.
Yeah.
And I can't believe for you. And I think from both perspectives of this kind of exchange, the thing that really opened my eyes after moving here to what a really good friend is a friend cares more about your success and your life than they do about how you feel.
Yeah.
Your friend cares more about you succeeding and you winning than your feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the greatest things that has happened to me was that I got connected to a group of brothers that were going to tell me the truth about myself.
Yeah.
Even if it was hard for me to hear.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And on the flip side of that, are you a friend that someone can tell you the truth about yourself and you'll listen?
Yeah.
God, there's so much to talk about here, Tyler,
Yeah,
and I'm trying to figure out which way I
Yeah.
want to go with the conversation.
Yes,
because I've lost friends off the accountability piece.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Friends I'm okay with losing, but the reality is, and we didn't say this in the beginning, but a non-negotiable in our circle
Yes.
is
In
your
ours.
ability to be held accountable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a standard.
That's what we call the standard.
Yeah.
Like there's not a single person in our circle that we haven't had a hard conversation with.
Right.
There's not a single person in our life that we haven't had a hard conversation with.
Right.
That's just our standard.
Right.
But, and I feel like I want to go there, but there's also the piece of the friendship. A friend is like, we want to see you get to success.
Yeah.
Right.
We want to see you get to the destination.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think moreover,
Yeah.
I think a real friend is more interested in who you become in the process.
journey. Yeah.
Then they care about destination. Because I
Right.
think what happens, some people they'll buy the house, they'll get the car, they'll do all the things that look like success,
Right.
Yeah.
and miss the growth in the middle.
Right.
They'll try to skip the process.
Right.
Lord. Have mercy.
And there are
Yeah.
people in our life that we've even seen
Right.
that like want to skip process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You want to
Microwave.
skip. You want to microwave your way to success.
Yeah.
Where the truth of the matter is, on the inside, you're dying.
Yeah.
Right.
And everybody's looking at you in your nice car, but can see your broken life.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because where you arrive at has a lot of weight.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
And it's the destination that has all the weight, but it's the journey that helps you develop the strength to carry it.
Yeah. That's good, Tom.
You skip
right,
that
yeah.
process, you're gonna have all that weight and you're gonna drop it.
Did somebody ordain this?
That's
man?
it.
Yeah, right.
That's it. That's it.
Call
Yeah.
him Pastor Top.
Yeah. We did
Who-
this offering
Yeah.
buckets.
Who have you become
Right.
in the process?
Right.
Right.
And that's what the accountability piece is.
Right.
None of our conversations are ever about how much money we have in the bank.
Right.
No.
Never.
None of our conversations. Now we push each other to our own property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Everybody in here got a property.
Thank God.
No.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've pushed each other to do that, but that wasn't the thing that we were really pushing.
Right.
It was, your responsibility
Right.
for your family or your future family.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you have a
Right.
place to live that's your own? Do you have your
Right.
own land, your
Right.
own thing?
Right.
Yeah.
Or are you paying somebody rent when you
Yeah.
don't necessarily need to?
Yeah.
For some people who are paying rent, it makes sense for you. Praise God. There are seasons in
Facts.
life where paying rent does make sense.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
100%. But in our season, we were like, no, like
Yeah.
own
Made
the
sense
property
for us for like a
But
year.
the point of the matter is, all of our conversations are, hey, bro, you're kind of coming off a little lazy.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no, bro, that's an excuse. You're being lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Offended or not, hear what I'm saying?
Offended or
Right.
not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Offended or not.
Facts.
You talking about you want a job, you don't have you want a new job, you want to make more money. Why aren't you networking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you have a LinkedIn?
Why don't you have a LinkedIn?
Right.
Why
Right.
aren't you messaging people? Like, why you applied to 2 jobs this week?
Yeah.
In this market?
Yeah.
And you talking about you want more money?
Yeah.
No, you're just being lazy.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
You have a dream. You have a dream. You haven't done anything for it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're not serious. These are the conversations we have.
No, facts.
Yeah.
A little bit more rough, actually.
No,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit
No,
more.
facts.
And that's the
It
thing.
mean.
Like I think
Not
that's
mean,
what
but-
I think that's the thing too. Is like
Blunt.
people don't understand. It's like, bro, like having a great community and having like, the relationship that we have, like, bro, it takes work, number one, but it also takes like you being able to like, bro, like hear what's being said, like eat the chicken, spit out the bones, bro. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. We definitely have had hard conversations. And in that moment, was I the most receptive? Was I like, no, but
sometimes
I
you
was
ain't.
defensive. I was a little pissed off. I was trying to defend my position. But it's
Yeah.
like, when it's
I have
all
to do
said and
what I
done.
want need for my family.
Hey, bro. But when it's all said and done, it's like
Yeah.
I can hear the truth in everything that's being said.
Right.
And the foundation of our relationship is like, like I trust these dudes with
Right.
my life.
Yeah.
I trust these dudes
Right.
with my life. Like these are like the uncles of my children. Like, bro, like these dudes are here for life for real. And they've pushed me thus far and I've won thus far
Right.
listening to their wisdom and like hearing the hard things that they had to say to me.
Right.
And so it's worth me continuing to like push through and understand like the area that I even need to grow in and like receiving what's being said to me. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Because on the other flip side of it, it's like, yeah, I might be defensive in that moment, but my goal still is like, even to grow from that. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, when you saying something to me, it's like, dude, I can hear the truth from what you're saying without being offended because I know you're not coming from a place that's like to my detriment.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have any malice
What's the
intentions.
point?
Yeah.
Right. You're
Yeah.
just like, you literally just want me to win.
Right.
So it's
You
like,
love me.
We're having
Yeah.
this, you love me, you want me to win. So it's like we're having this conversation from a stance and on a foundation of something that is like so powerful and that like makes sense at the end of the day for you
Right.
to be able to hear what's being said and like, that's facts.
Yeah,
you're
and
right, bro.
I think the best thing about that I just
Yeah.
got was that you said you're still able to hear the truth
Facts.
in what's being said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think right now we live in a generation
My God.
Yeah.
where
Let's talk about it.
if
Yeah,
what
yeah.
is being said is offensive,
Yeah.
nothing you said is true
Yeah.
because I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Nothing that you said is true because it hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
So there's no truth in what you said. You're
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep doing what I want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? I really think that might stem from this generation's lack of real intimate relationships. of relationships below surface level.
Yeah.
Because if I don't trust you really love me, I'm not really going to trust what you say to me if it's harsh, if I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what our relationship, I would never, like, we couldn't make the withdrawals we make.
Nah.
Had we not deposited
Facts.
what we've deposited.
We deposited
in terms
hella
of
deposits.
No.
Yeah.
As harsh as our criticism is, we celebrate everything.
Oh my God.
For sure.
We celebrate all the time.
we
show up for one another. We celebrate, bro.
We just celebrated our brother Mike last night.
Last night, like we show up for each other when it's convenient, when it's inconvenient. Like showing up for each other matters. Showing that you love somebody matters. Letting them know what they're best at. Like anytime I see like Josh like doing anything great and I'm like, bro, and I'll say it in detail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because same thing, you know, same thing with everyone here. Because it's really important that you deposit as much as you withdraw. And those critiques and all that's a withdrawal from the relationship. And so it's really important that we make those deposits and it has to happen. And we do that a lot.
It does. But bro, can we also talk about the fact that it's not even just about, like, for a lot of guys, like, the love is already there, right? You know, like, you know, they love and trust one another, but they've never been in a position where they've had to have a where they had to have a confrontation. Like, a lot of dudes are scared of confrontation, don't really know how to have confrontation.
That's real.
Don't really know how to have hard conversations.
That's
to
real.
say the thing that's like not popular to say. To tell your man is like, bro, you tripping, bro. Like,
you wilding out.
It's like we live in a society in a time where it's like so many relationships, like boys are tight, but it's like we only tight as long as like you agree with what I got going on. You know what I mean? The moment you disagree, it's like I'm cool. And I think there might be a little bit of a fear of like being lonely or like losing the boys that you've been with all the time, you know, from saying something that's true, for being real and like actually like saying something that's gonna help this person versus just going along with what they got going on. You know what I mean? And so I think we gotta kind of dive into that a little bit too. It's like, why is that the case? How are people able to get to a place where like, yo, they say the things that need to be said?
That's
a very good question.
That's really real because Tyler and I come from really confrontational backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like we're from Boston where we're very straightforward people.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I might be a little bit more confrontational than Tyler.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
the head honcho.
Sometimes I just be like, whatever.
Yeah, I don't
bro.
care. Right.
Whatever.
Yeah. You say I don't care. Right. I'm a very confrontational, and to be honest, probably everybody here, maybe not Day. I don't know. Like, did you have to get used to my confrontation? I don't feel like we've ever really had a problem with like
maybe football. Probably.
I feel like
exactly.
Yeah.
Like he's a football player.
Right.
They coaches say the worst things.
You ready to fight a coach?
Yeah, exactly. Right. This is light work. So I think you're right. Like there are a bunch of men, and I think it's who are not confrontational, but there's also a bunch of men who are extremely prideful.
Yeah.
And the biggest battle that we have, even within our circle, is pride.
Yeah. Breaking that down.
Right. And one, it's being okay with.
Bro, that's not a pause, bro.
Not a pause?
Bro, breaking that down is not a pause.
Wow, this is getting worse. All right.
You don't need to say it again.
Wow, exactly. You said it twice. It's unnecessary.
Terrible.
I lost my train of thought. No, but I think we're often confronted with, okay, you're being prideful.
Yeah.
I told you a truth, and now you're being prideful because you didn't like what I heard. Like you didn't like what you heard.
Right.
You know it's true, but now you're defending yourself. And so now I'm listening to your defense. And so I'm only battling your pride. And the truth of the matter is, like battling someone's pride, I don't do it.
Mm-hmm. Won't win.
Yeah, I'm not interested in battling pride. Every now and actually that's not true. That's a lie. Because every now and then I will battle pride just because I'm a little annoyed that you're being prideful. So that's me being petty a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do think it's important to check your pride when having a confrontational conversation with somebody you know who loves you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Because love isn't prideful.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? And so I think it's really important to do that. But it's pride, and it's also I don't think this generation is as confrontational as previous generations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think Ant, he hit the nail on the head with it. You know, with the whole this just shallow. This generation don't really know how to because I think for me, just like observing young guys like college area, you know, all that stuff is just like a lot of them like the recruitment process for friends and for brothers. It's like, yo, are you a yes man? Oh, well, bet, cool. We locked in. And it's just like, you don't.
Do you do what I do? Do you enjoy what I like?
You
don't like what I like?
You don't need a yes man. I think it take a whole different type of person to like go seek. And I think this is like something that I kind of applaud all of us on. Like we seek people who like gonna tell us the truth. Gonna tell us the truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's gonna like really speak to us about things that we may not like. You know what I'm saying? And I think this generation, like they run from that because that make them feel like somebody keeping it real with them is hate rather than love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like, and it's so confusing because it's just like, no, like I'm telling you this hard thing because nobody else is going to tell you.
Yep.
So I want to be the person because I love you so much.
Yeah.
But
Right.
they look at it as the opposite. And it's just, and it sucks. It really do.
Right.
It really do. And I mean, I just wish, you know, it's a more of a push of just realness.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like just being real genuine about the advice we give and all the things because I mean I think that'd be the best way to like combat this whole shallow generation of, you know, just not wanting to hear like harsh truths and realities.
And I think that even ties into the question of, is your picker broken?
Yeah.
Because I feel like even a better way to ask that is, are you broken?
Jesus.
Is the way that you think broken?
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people that you can be friends with that you have to check and you have to correct. And you have to have hard conversations with them. And it's love, but they think it's hate.
Yeah.
And their response is, oh, well, you don't love me for who I am.
Right.
Oh, well, you don't like who I am.
Right.
And the reality of it is no, I actually see everything you can be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And who you are right now is not who you're meant to be.
That's a fact, Tyler.
Yeah.
And so there are people whose pickers are broken because their thoughts are broken.
Yeah.
Their minds are broken. And the way that they see themselves is broken. And so they will pick friends that are more accustomed to helping them stay broken.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Jesus
Because
Christ.
telling you, you think wrong. The way you're thinking about this situation is wrong.
Facts.
The way that you're looking at this situation is wrong.
Facts.
This is how you should look at that situation. This is a blessing.
Yeah.
Or you shouldn't do that, and here's why. Or you're being lazy, and here's why. These are all things that trigger feelings of, oh, you just don't like me.
Right.
Or you just hate me.
Right.
Or you just can't accept me for who I am.
Yeah.
When the reality of it is just, no, I really think you can be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to hear that because you have to go through a meat grinder in order to get there.
Yeah, bro.
It takes a lot of work
Yeah.
in order to get there.
Yeah.
That's the tough part about it. Is like it really takes a super high level of self-awareness and like willingness to like work on your emotional maturity to like have a relationship that's healthy and
Right.
that, like where you can go to the next level.
Right.
Because if you're not willing to do that work on yourself first, it don't matter what you're trying to do in terms of relationships and community.
Right.
Like you're going to feel like every scenario that actually should be helping you grow, you're going to take it as something that's like taken away from where you are right now. And it's like you don't, and it's like I can't battle somebody like that because you don't even see where you are now as some place that you shouldn't be. You know what I mean? It's just like you have to do that work on yourself to even be able to pick right. So love what you said there.
The
Tom,
people
for sure.
around you are always going to be a reflection of how you see yourself.
Facts. Facts.
Everybody that you're around is just going to show the world how you see you.
That's it.
Because
Jesus.
you think that's who you should be with.
We got offering plate for Tyler.
Boy, I'm like, good God.
Cause he needs
But
boys.
exactly.
Jesus.
I think what's another important note to add here, right, is you have to hold people accountable to they see, what they want.
Right.
Because it is an uphill battle trying to hold somebody accountable to your expectation,
Right.
and not their expectation of themselves.
Exactly.
I always know up front what you want, how do you want your life. You can ask any mentee of mine, any friend of mine. I know what everybody wants to see in themselves. Like everybody wants to see how their life, I know about all of y'all.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna hold you accountable to that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not
Right.
Even if I see you as so much bigger than you see yourself, if I see you more than how you see yourself, maybe as a friend, I'm gonna try to get you to see more, and I'll call out gifts in you, but at the end of the day, until you confess it, until you're like, yeah, this is what I want. Like now, I want this dream to come true. Like I want to be a homeowner. Like I want to make it here in this company, or I want to build my own company. I want to do this. I want to do that. Like I'm gonna hold you accountable to get in there. And the steps to get there. But if you're like, bro, I'm cool. Like
I'm chilling.
I'm chilling. Like this is what I want.
Yeah.
Ain't no way I'm about to argue with you about starting a company or getting promoted and if you comfortable.
Bro, that's so like awesome what you just said, because even what I was just watching this podcast yesterday with Myron Golden, and he was saying,
right there,
he was just like, bro,
Shout out to Myron Golden.
you can't try to change someone's behavior if their beliefs don't match up to that behavior that you want them to have. It's like they might end up behaving a certain way, but if their beliefs doesn't match that behavior, they're gonna crash at some point. You're gonna start to see like, there's some inconsistencies here. You know what I mean? The moment you're not looking over their shoulder no more, they're going right back to, what they actually believe in. So it's like actually letting somebody get to a place where like, they're telling you like, bro, I believe in this. Like I care about this. You know what I mean? Their behavior is gonna match, the ways that you're gonna try to keep them accountable, the ways that you're gonna try to, that you'll be able to criticize them and say like, this is what you got to work on, and they'll take that differently. And a lot of people like they want to do certain things where they got to like actually fix what's going on in their mind first, so love what you said, bro, for sure.
Did you already talk about therapy?
Nah,
because I think that's a huge piece of this too.
Therapy is
you gotta go through therapy and heal some things. And I'm not saying you need to go through therapy in order to have friends. But it's gonna help your picker.
Right.
And it's gonna help that brokenness. And help you understand, oh wow, like I'm receiving your feedback in love.
Facts.
Because now some people can't receive love because they're broken. And so all that love is pouring out.
That's so good, bro.
Right? And so it's a feeling of emptiness, and every time you critique me, it feels like you're attacking me and you don't love me. All that you were saying. So I think it's really, all that stuff is really important in one, like your picker being like your picker working, and healing that brokenness.
Right.
I think friendship it's difficult. No, it's not difficult. Yeah, it is.
It's
right.
work.
It's work. It's work.
And work is work.
And the issue is, I think people don't always see the benefit and the importance of investing in friendship.
Right.
Why is friendship work?
Friendship is work, but people are all works in progress.
That's facts.
Friendship is work because building relationship and building trust and building people is work. Friendship is work because you're work.
Right.
I'm work.
That's a fact.
When I'm not a work in progress, and my friend being my friend is going to be easy. Because I'm perfect. But until then, it's going to be some work.
Right.
Yeah, and then even to like, just to be like, the word you said is building. Building, that's an action. That is work, and that's a lot of things. And building is also a process. And this generation where we want everything so fast, we want the foundation of a 10-year relationship over a 2-week getting to know you, and it's not even, and it's just like,
been there.
It's impossible. It's impossible to build something within a short time span. I think a lot of people want like these, you know, it's just these bonds. That's just,
I won't speak on it.
Yeah, please don't, Tyler. Good God.
Tyler, go cut up.
Go ahead, Dave. My bad.
No,
We kicking people out the room. Hey, let's stop. Let's get it.
But boom, I'm good.
Yo,
I feel like,
yeah, go ahead.
I feel like if there is no work, then it's not a friendship.
Facts.
Right.
You know?
I agree.
Especially as men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's no work, it's not a friendship. If everything is perfect, then where's the depth?
Right.
Ain't none.
And it's also work because I have a job as your friend to be there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to hold you accountable.
Yep.
Yeah.
And to have your back.
Yep.
Yeah.
And to lift you up when you need to be lifted up.
And to celebrate with you. When
That's
you,
work.
yeah,
I have a
when you
job to
done
do.
something.
I have a
Absolutely.
responsibility
All
as
the
your
things.
friend. There is a responsibility. There's a job description, actually, believe it or not, that comes with being a friend.
Yeah.
And it is
Yeah.
all those things.
Which is why you can't be friends with everybody.
You cannot,
Facts.
because they don't necessarily meet the description.
Yeah. And you can't stretch yourself so thin.
Right.
Yeah.
With all these friends that you gotta
Right.
show, because that becomes a full-time job.
Right.
And I got a life to build. And there's so much. It's so layered because
Yeah.
that's why I choose my friends. Like my friends can't be so high maintenance.
Right.
Right. Because that's really important.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can't always. That can't always be a baby mama issue. Like it just can't
Jesus.
always be
Yeah,
there can't
Jesus.
just always
Right.
be a problem. There just can't
Yeah.
always be another. Like it. Just gotta be some progression.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Like, can we both agree to progress?
Right.
Can we both like? I went in on one of my mentees, and I mentioned mentees in these conversations because I believe at the core of any mentor mentee relationship is a friendship.
Yeah.
That's how I was mentored. That's how I was raised. Right.
Yeah.
And like I remember it being the same conversation about the same situation over and over again, and I was like, you know what? Let's not talk about this situation no more. Until you fix it, until you do the last thing that we both agree that you should do, then we're not gonna talk about it no more. Because I'm just not about to keep having the same conversation with you over and
Right.
over and over again.
Right.
I got a life to build. I got a child to feed and a
Right.
wife to sleep with. Like I got life.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I can't just be dealing with your
Yeah.
mess all the time.
That's a
And
killing brain cell conversation.
Oh my
for real.
god! Oh my god! And
my
it's like it's
God.
not even it's different. It's just like oh my god! Like we're not talking about what should I invest or I lost some money in an investment or da da da. Like that's a good conversation to have. It's like oh wait, let me not invest in that either, right? Like
Right.
you at least let it be some sort of edification to me.
Facts.
Yeah.
Or
Facts.
some worthwhile conversation, or let it be something worth actually talking you through. But if it's
facts.
the same thing over and over again, you cheated again.
Right.
Yeah.
You did this again.
Yeah.
Right.
You messing around again?
Right. Now I'm not holding you accountable no more.
No.
Yeah.
No. You're venting.
You go. Yeah.
You're
just-
venting.
Yeah.
Well, this is no longer accountability conversation.
Yeah.
You're giving me information.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. You
Right.
know what? I don't like this information.
Right, because
I don't want
let's just make sure we break it down, bro. Like holding each other accountable means that we're withdrawing something to help you progress at the end of the day, or you're sharing something to where I can help you progress at the end of the day. And it's like if I can't, like you were saying, if we can't agree to progress, how are we going to get better?
Yeah.
How is this relationship serving me?
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you're just going to be the same person
Bro.
after,
Right.
any scenario, any situation that might be a detriment to your life, what is the point of me staying here? Like,
Right.
there's
Yeah.
no point. And so it's like, if you can't agree to progress, there ain't no reason for us to
Right.
be here.
Yeah.
And no way.
And it also shows that you don't value what I say.
Right.
What
And
I
that's
said.
why, but that's
I have
also,
deposited into you,
Yes.
and you have wasted the deposit
Solicited
because you
advice.
don't care.
Oh, that's
so.
good.
I'm not gonna keep wasting my deposit.
that's it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
like-
because I value me, and I'm not gonna keep wasting my time.
Time is money.
Yeah. And it's like solicited advice.
Right.
That you asked for.
Yeah.
Right.
You
And
coming to
not-
me.
And you're not like it's like you just
Right.
like a slap in the face.
Right.
And then I know for me, like I kind of asked the question, like, yo, is this like who you are, or is this who you were? Like,
Right.
like that's the question
That's
that
a
you
good-
gotta answer.
Ooh, that's a great
Yeah.
question.
Because it's like
That is so direct.
'cause it's like if that's who you are, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, hey, bro, like I don't know.
A great
You know
question,
what I'm saying?
Dave.
But
Yeah.
if it's like that's who you were, okay, we can work with that.
Yeah.
We can,
Yeah.
we can move
that in
forward
my
with that.
pocket.
Hey, you got it. Hey, you got it. We can move forward with that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I think a lot of people like their response would be, "Oh no, that's who I am."
Right.
And kind of like Tyler point is just like, "Oh well, you gotta like me for who I am."
Yeah.
It's just like you don't even like who you are. That's why you come to me for advice.
And let me. This is very good, bro.
You don't even like who you are.
You don't.
Oh God.
And that's why you come to me for advice. You're not taking it.
Oh God.
Infinity loop of insanity. That's what it is.
Yeah. My thing about this as well, like I also want to like say, like if there are friends who are dealing with like addictions or like whether it be to like pornography or sex or if drugs or alcohol, whatever thing, like that's gonna be a constant. And if you have friends with somebody like that, you're gonna have to walk with them through that, right?
Right.
But you also like gotta be willing to take the steps.
Right.
And so in those cases, I think we'll understand like, okay, you have a porn addiction, like you watch porn again. I appreciate you telling me.
Yeah.
Get back up. You are the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus, right? Like there's no condemnation, right? Like build them back up.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, right, like there's just the petty ones too. Yeah. Like you have to be able to differentiate like what's a problem and have you realized this is a problem. Right. And there are seasons in life where it's just really tough. Like and this is obviously a very separate thing, but like when a friend is like grieving.
No.
I don't care how long it takes.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit with you through your grieving.
For sure.
Right.
I don't care how many times you're crying.
For sure.
You're gonna cry. You just don't be upset if I'm crying too, because we both gonna sit here and cry. The Bible says mourn with those who mourn.
Facts.
And I'm sure gonna mourn, right? Like I'm the kind of person who's just like, bro, I might cry too, to be honest. Like, don't expect me to be the strong. No, sorry, but I'll just be as strong as I can. We're gonna pray heaven down, but I'm gonna cry while I'm praying.
Yeah.
But I think differentiating like what's constantly happening, right? Like, all right, this is petty. This is a mess. You're not walking in integrity versus like, all right, like, no, this is an addiction. And we're walking through a season of addiction with you.
Right.
And if you understand that and I understand that and we're getting you in therapy, we're getting you where you need to be. Now we're seeing, okay, now there's progress being made. We're doing the right things and I'm gonna walk with you through that. That's different than just some petty drama that you keep dragging me into every damn week.
Right.
Facts. And that's why I'm saying, like, even to bring what Tyler said full circle is like, that's why relationships will work. Is because progression takes work. Period. Like, and if your friendship and the relationship that you have with the people that's in your close circle is not about y'all progressing, it probably don't feel like work because y'all ain't doing it. It don't feel like work because y'all not trying to go higher. Like at the end of the day, we're trying to go higher, bro. We're trying to win, and if you want to win, you gotta put in work. Other than that, you just gonna be a loser. Like that's just how it works. That's how the world works. So it's like that's one of the biggest things. It's like even like in any relationship, marriage, friendships, kids, it's like, bro, it takes work because I want to grow this relationship. I want to grow the potential of like who I can be in my life, who you can be in your life as a result of us continuing to progress. And that's why that joint takes work. It takes like me being able to have the hard conversation with you. So like even to answer the question that I like posed like way back in this conversation was just like, how do people decide like, yo, I'm going to say the thing that needs to be said? It's like, bro, you have to make a decision. Like, bro, you want y'all to grow. Like you want y'all to progress and to win. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, then there's certain things that need to be checked off the list. Like there's certain hard conversations that need to be had, certain things that y'all are comfortable with that you got to be uncomfortable with now, and tackle the things that need to be tackled for y'all to progress together.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I remember having a conversation with because this is frustrating. It's like when you want something for yourself. And you don't feel like the people around you want the same thing, and you're kind of like, what the hell? And then you want to hold everybody accountable to grinding like you grinding, and you want everybody to do it because you want your friends to go with you. I remember having a conversation recently with you guys, and I already know a lot of y'all dreams and stuff, but my question was just like, what do y'all want? Like, what do y'all want in this season? Because like I don't want to be pushing y'all to expectation that you communicated a long time ago that may not be where you are right now. And I think having conversations about like where you guys all are in different seasons of life is really important, right? Like I remember Mike, he was just kind of like, bro, like I'm just want to focus on like being you too, like dad in this season. I'm a new father.
Yeah.
Like I just really want to be 100% present at home. I'm not trying to build something. I'm not trying to like go crazy and build and promote at work and all these things and do all. I'm just trying to like do this, and I'm like phenomenal. Yeah, because everybody's different. Right. Like for me, being present is coming home and being present, but also like I'm like I need to provide for these. Like I want to do this. I got these. I got to say like and so. Everybody's different, and so understanding your friends and their dreams and their wants and what they desire is really important. Right. So that again, we said this a million times, but it's like so you can hold them accountable to that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, like yo, how much are you on your video game? Now I'm holding you accountable to how present you are at the crib.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, I saw you on Warzone or Madden. All like what's going on, right? Yeah. Like. All right, you said, all right, now you want to start building some more content. Bro, I ain't seen no pictures. Right. I ain't seen no video.
Right.
So I think it's really important to know your friends.
Facts.
Right. Know your people.
Facts.
Get healed. And fix your picker.
Facts.
Yeah. Fix your heart.
Facts.
Right.
And in turn, fix your picker.
Yeah.
Yo, this was a great conversation.
Great.
Sure.
Oh, phenomenal.
Sure. For sure. Just vital. Major key.
Dude. Family, thank y'all for sitting with us. Thank y'all for chilling with us here at the Speakeasy. We're going to be here every week. We love y'all. We thank you. We hope this was edifying for somebody. I hope somebody was blessed, and I hope somebody's going to now take your circle, your community, and elevate that thing, man. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And see y'all next week.
Yes, sir.
Peace.